Hello, hello. I'm Russ Milheim from the Direct. Thank you guys for talking to me today about the movie.
Yes, sir. How
Yeah,
you doing?
thank you.
Doing good. How you guys doing?
Good.
So good.
Now, for both of you, what were your biggest inspirations behind your performances with these characters and their experience in this movie?
Mm.
That's a good question. I don't know, maybe character specific, but definitely inspiration from movies. I would say, like The Goonies is a good one. I know that was one of my favorite movies growing up as a kid. Funny enough, my mom had a little CD and she would just pop it in the TV and we would watch it over and over and
That's
over again.
awesome.
So, when I saw the script for this, like for the very first time and just even reading it, I was like, wow, I was like, this does have a lot of those elements of, being with your friends and, solving mysteries and stuff. So, definitely having that to play off of helped a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. I think focusing on grounding the performance, so it's like it's still real life, where because the stakes feel so high, but then also showing that fear
Yeah.
of that age of not knowing what's happening.
Yeah.
There's so much at that age where you're like, I have no idea what's happening right now, and there's a lot of fear, but there's also that kind of excitement with that, especially when you're lucky enough to experience it with
Yeah.
your friends and have people to lean on and ask questions and go through it together. So I think for me, just focusing on showing that truth was really important. But I don't say I have a specific character. There's a lot of things, that the movies and different superheroes and performances that I watched to prepare, but there wasn't a single one where I was trying to channel.
Yeah.
You mentioned a fear a few times, and there's some scary stuff in this film. What do you think about this film really makes it spooky and is really gonna maybe get to some of the audience in a good way?
I mean, even just using the word spooky is a great way to put it. I feel like there's a lot of mystery behind it. There's a lot of, of plot twists throughout it. Things that you're not expecting at all, which is really fun for the audience to see. I feel like the audience is in a way gonna be solving the mystery with the kids while they're watching it, and I feel
Yeah.
like that just adds such a spooky element to it in itself. I feel like that is so awesome.
I remember being on the edge of my seat while reading the script,
Yeah.
being like, what's going to happen next?
Seriously.
I think, and filming our scene specifically will be a scene where people are on the edge of their seat, blood pumping. At least mine was while filming it,
Yeah,
no matter how many takes we had done. So I think
Yeah.
that'll come through.
How did you utilize your own personal real life experiences, when performing for this movie and bringing their journey this summer to life?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of what we were doing really did feel like, just kids having fun in the summer who just happened to be doing all of these mysterious, crazy things. And I feel like in a way you can put, the life that you've experienced off screen, onto the screen because it was just so, it really does have such a reality base to it. There just happens to be all of these mysterious things happening. So, I don't know, but for me, I mean, hanging out with your friends and then, all of a sudden something crazy happens, it's there's a lot of that happening throughout the movie, and it really does, feel like friends just having fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that it's so important within your childhood and throughout your whole life to have an element of play.
Yeah.
And just adventure. And I think that I'm lucky enough to live in a place where, during the summers that we're outside and you're with your friends and you're making your adventures and those things feel scary. Like you don't know. And you can kind of create the monsters whether they were there or not in your head when you're camping with your friends or on an adventure, and that excitement and belief, honestly, and just committing to it with each other, I think is so important. So I kind of pulled that experience and growing up, learning to be independent, running around with my friends. That's kind of, the energy that we tried to create.
Now, no, I want to ask a real
Yes.
quick off-topic question for you. You were in Spiderwick Chronicles.
Yes, sir.
Have you heard anything about a season 2, or are we still waiting?
I have not. It's still in the air right now. Hopefully there is a season 2. I think if there is, it's gonna be great, definitely. But no, nothing yet. So hopefully.
That's fair. I'll cross my fingers.
Thank you.
Last question for you both about Monster Summer. What did both of you add to your characters that maybe wasn't initially on the page?
That's a great question. I don't know. I feel like, what helped was a lot of times as an actor, sometimes you'll be playing a character that's out of your age range a lot of times, but while we were filming, our characters were also our same age, so that really helped because it's not like I had to, find a way to relate to my character. It was like I kind of, in a way, was my character. So I feel like a lot of it was me, I mean, even while filming, being there for I was there for like 3 months. There's a lot of growing that happens when you're that age throughout that time, and it really did feel like reality in a way, this twisted, dark reality in a way. But no, I know. I feel like, and I don't want to speak for anybody else, but I feel like also a lot of the other characters kind of feel that too. It felt like we all were just friends in the summer, having fun, having an adventure, and also growing at the same time.
And then they'd roll the
which
camera.
is so cool. Yeah.
And you're like, okay, we're filming the scene.
There just happened to be a camera on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for my character, especially during our scenes, I think that I tried to bring a sense of strength, but also fear. Not just kind of a victim, but also someone who can fight and be strong, but also escape when needed, even if you're leaving this one behind, which, I had to do. He did tell me to go, so I did get the permission, I'd say.
That's so funny.
But I think just kind of showing the genuine connections that we have off screen and the sense of, fun and giggly energy, but then also when the stakes are so real, keeping them grounded and afraid, but also there's some strength within every character as well.
Yeah.
Hello, my name is Russ Milheim from The Direct. Thank you guys for talking to me today about the movie.
Thank you for having us. I love your background. That's so cool.
Thank you. Just to start off, for both of you, what were your biggest inspirations when it came to your performances in this film?
This movie it kind of relates to Goonies in a way, and all the actors in Goonies are just so good. So I was trying to channel like my inner Goonies. Yeah.
I was literally about to say the exact same thing. While filming, I have always loved Goonies and watched it so many times, but while filming, I went back and watched it, and I'm like, we have got to get this pacing and this chemistry because it's so incredible, and I really think that we were able to in this film.
I think so, I hope.
Hopefully.
For both of you, what was the most unique experience you had while working on this movie, whether that be on set or something offset with coworkers?
Oh, unique experience. Well, there's a really intense scene towards the end of the movie. I can't really explain a lot about it, but it was really interesting to shoot. There's pyrotechnics and we're it's dark and gloomy, and that's all I can really say. But it's a great time, and I hope people will enjoy it.
Yeah, I think one of the most unique experiences for me was working with Lorraine Bracco on this film. She's incredible, and I've watched her work, and especially her in Goodfellas. I love her. And so getting to work with her and talk to her and meet her, learn from her, was just really incredible. And I also think, this is kind of saying for both of us, filming in the freezing cold for a summer movie
my goodness.
was hilarious and a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Now, I kind of touched upon this earlier, but when it comes to your own real life experiences, how did you utilize that and bring it into your characters and their experience in Monster Summer?
I think Eugene really finds courage towards the end of this movie, and he's more kind of into himself, and he's very, very nervous, but I think with the help of others, he kind of, gets out there and pushes himself to, kind of surround himself with these great kids and overcome this evil force. But I think for me, I'm super I'm always up and ready to do things, so I just brought myself into it towards the end of this movie.
Yeah, I think Sammy's has a little bit of sass to her, so I brought out that side of myself in this character.
Yeah, she's
which
very
was
sassy.
Really fun because I like being sassy in real life. So
Completely fair. Completely fair. Now there's some scary stuff in this movie. So what do you think about this film? What do you think makes it really spooky for audiences?
Ooh.
How much can we say?
I think what makes it spooky is the mystery throughout this movie. Like, you don't really find out what's happening until really like the end, like end of this movie.
Very end.
And I think all of that, like, building up, I think it'll make the audience kind of just wait and get really excited for what happens, but it also makes it spooky.
I also think the atmosphere, the set dressing on this film was just incredible. And so you'll see when you watch the movie, but it really like got us into character and into that spooky environment.
For sure.
Now, Julian, I wanna pivot real quick. One quick unrelated question for you. You're going to be in Zombies 4.
I am, yeah.
I wanted to real quick ask, it's coming next year, but do you have any idea when next year fans might be able to see it? And if you could tease anything about your mystery character.
Man, I think possibly next summer, around then. My character, I don't really know much I can say about him, but I think audiences will really, really love him. He's a really fun, interesting character, and he's got some fun, creepy sides to him.
Well, last quick question for you guys about Monster Summer. What did you guys add to your characters that maybe wasn't on the page originally?
Ooh, that's a really good question.
That's a difficult question.
Oh man, I mean, adding to Eugene, gosh. When I get really focused on something, I'm super, super focused on it. So I just like kind of work and work and work, unless it's with school, which is kind of different. But but I think Eugene is super into wanting to be a president one day. He's really into JFK, and so kind of putting him in that sense of just like we're all into this. And I think kind of annoys the other characters around him a little bit. But I mean, kind of bringing that into him and putting his character around wanting to be this, amazing person. So, yeah.
I think Sammy had a lot of like heart in the script when I read it, but maybe I just brought a little bit more like care to her character. Yeah.
My name is Russ Milheim. I'm from The Direct. It's great to talk to you today about the movie.
Hey Russ, love your background.
Thank you. For Monster Summer, what was your North Star, when crafting this film? What was the one thing you really wanted to capture perfectly that you felt would guide the rest of the journey?
Well, there's a couple things. I mean, first and foremost, I wanted to recreate the feeling I had as a kid watching movies with my dad. And when I finished this script, it reminded me of being a little boy again, eating popcorn with my father. And I was really motivated to want to recreate that, hopefully with a new generation of parent and kids. So that's what really motivated me, is I could maybe recreate a special experience for families. But the theme that spoke to me in the film that I really loved is that evil wins when good men do nothing. And what better way to tell that story than through the eyes of a kid? So those two kind of, I guess, more sentimental places really hit home with my heart. And it just was icing on the cake that this movie reminds me of all of my favorite movies growing up. Sandlot, Goonies, Monster Squad, Super 8, Jaws, even some E.T., like the list goes on. This had all of my favorite things in it, so it was just a blast.
How did you want to make sure that this film felt unique compared to all of the other, summer kind of coming of age spooky stories that are out there? How did you want this one to really stick out?
To me, the secret sauce is really in our two leads and their chemistry together, Mason Thames and Mel Gibson. I don't think you've really seen a kid adult two-hander made for the Halloween season in a really long time. So I'm excited. We really did build this around the parents gravitating towards Mel's character and the kids gravitating towards Mason's character, and both hopefully being able to get something out of it, and a theatrical experience. Like this is a particular time right now where the theatrical experience is coming back, and I think a few years ago people would have said this movie has to go streaming, but the box office experience is back undoubtedly. So I'm really excited to have people get together in a room and watch a movie on the movie screen, on the silver screen. So yeah, I'm stoked.
What about this film do you think, what makes it really spooky? What is its big scare factor?
I think the fact that you really don't know what or who the bad guy is all along the way, and I guarantee you will not see it coming. If you see it coming, you just shouldn't watch movies because there is no there is you're just another, you're like the Rain Man of audience with movie. You don't belong in a theater. But yeah, I think you won't see it coming. If you do see it coming, I want to talk to you, because how the heck did you see that coming? Because we did everything we possibly could with a lot of really smart people to mislead you, and I'm really looking forward to people seeing that. I think there will be no way you'll see it coming.
When it comes to usual like horror tropes, and really even just coming of age stories, what were some things that you wanted to actively avoid and make sure that this film didn't, whether it be retread or just skirt it entirely?
Well, I mean, my former answer kind of plays into it a lot. There's so many movies where you're trying to guess who done it, and I think we've all seen so many of those movies, especially the Agatha Christie's of the world. Like, we're really good at spotting who it is, and you won't see it coming. You really won't see it coming. Did you see the movie?
I did. Yeah.
Did you see it coming?
No, I did not. No, so
there's no way you could see it coming, and that I can't wait till it comes out so we could talk about that decision, because you just won't. And I think that's at the secret. This movie wouldn't work if we didn't do it exactly right, because if you could know who that person was, it's just, you're just going to be bored watching the movie.
That's fair. That's fair. Well, so then, when audiences walk out of this film and it's all said and done, what do you want people to remember the most about their journey in Monster Summer?
Yeah, I honestly hope parents and kids will get their own message out of it, because we did really build it that way, where the parents will get something from Mel, the kids will get something from the kids. But the quote that really did come to mind when I first finished the script was, "Evil only wins when good men do nothing." And I hope people will walk out of this film and go, you know what? I don't care who's influencing me in my life, even if it's my friends. If I really do believe something to be true, I don't care what anyone else says. I'm going to chase that thing, and I'm going to pursue that. And I think that's a relevant message for today, because there is a lot of fear out there, and this movie is about overcoming fears.
Yeah. Now, do you have, as a director, how did your experience on Monster Summer help you grow in your own craft and, teach you things that you're going to utilize for projects down the line?
That's a great question. All of my favorite shots are on the cutting room floor, so we'll start there. All of them are there, and it was a great learning lesson for me in terms of time management. Like, filmmaking really is time management. It's not animation where you can literally dream up anything and try it and see it and go, oh, that doesn't work. I'm going to do it again. What you shoot is what you shoot. You cannot do it again. So for me, it's a matter of time management and how you're telling the story. And a lot of times, the simpler the better, because your favorite shots will be on the cutting room floor. I mean, I'm not the only director to say this. It's an old saying, in fact, but I learned it firsthand. Like, some of my favorite shots, they just took too long. And although it's beautiful and it's a oneer and it's a shot that turned into a shot that turned into another shot, when you're watching it in the context of the film, you're like, it's got to go. It's got to go. and it kills me to say that, but it's got to go.
So, last question for you. Do you have what is your favorite moment that you did within the film that did make it in?
My favorite moment that did not make it in?
No, that did.
Oh, that did make it in.
Oh,
that
did and did not. If you have a clear answer for both of them.
Honestly, it's the reveal of the freaking bad guy. To me, the reveal of the freaking bad guy, the monster, is a movie moment. It's like, why you do these things. You go, oh! Like, to me, it's a movie moment. And then also the ending. We had an action-packed ending, and getting to shoot that ending was a blast, because it was so... We were up against time. The Mason Thames, our young boy star, was running out of time. Kids can only shoot a certain amount of hours in the day. And it was like down to the minute before the studio teacher was going to pull him off set, because they can only shoot like 9 or 9.5 hours, and not a minute longer. Not a minute longer. And we got Mel there. We got Mason. It's an action-packed scene. There's all these elements. Things are going wrong. You're fixing them on the fly. And like down to the minute, we got what we needed. And it was just this huge like celebration. Like, yeah, the whole crew went nuts. And like, I was really proud of that sequence, because it's a collaborative effort. I mean, you're all doing it. You're all there fighting this thing uphill. And when you get it over the hump, man, it's a great feeling.